Yo Gotti main shooter was just arrested the other day and allegedly was charged for the murder of Yo Gotti's brother, Big Juke. Behind the rap scene's glossy exterior, B.O. was running wild in the streets, dropping bodies and self-snitching on tracks that ultimately led to his downfall. The shocking truth behind what brought him down is darker than anyone imagined, and we're about to reveal it all. Yo, what's good, fam? We about to dive deep into some real street drama that's been shaking up the hip-hop community and has townsfolk on fire. Now, before we get into this wild ride, let me keep it 100 with y'all. Social media been buzzing about B. Lil Kenny getting dragged out the bushes by what people saying was the DEA. But yo, we about to separate the facts from the fiction, the real from the fake. Now hold up, before y'all start thinking this was just some regular traffic stop gone wrong. The streets been whispering for months that Kenny had Big Juke's blood on his hands. But here's where it gets real spicy. This fool been practically confessing to the murder in his own music. So check it. The footage that went viral shows Kenny getting pulled out them bushes like a groundhog on Groundhog Day. Look at that. They told him come back, he about to get bit. That's crazy, man. You can hear someone saying in the background as law enforcement dragged this man out his hiding spot. Everybody pregnant. Oh shit, everybody come back. Can't do nothing to us. Fuck, we chillin'. They can't do nothing to no. Hell no. Now in the streets, we know getting chased by the feds ain't no joke, but Kenny's situation was different because the rumor has been circulating for months that he was the trigger man behind Big Juke's assassination. The man was 5 foot 3 inches, 120 pounds, soaking wet, but apparently had the heart of a lion when it came to putting in that work. According to the booking records, charges including intentionally evading arrest in a vehicle, evading arrest, reckless driving, illegal window tint, and possession of a controlled substance. But yo, this is where the story gets deeper than just some traffic violations. The real kicker, though, was comfortable as hell in them bushes. He even posted on Facebook later saying, "I was comfortable as hell in them bushes. They had to drag me out. We was gonna be there till timber waiting on me to surrender." This man was planning to wait it out until the coast was clear. But the law wasn't having it. But here's where it gets interesting. This man been telling on himself harder than a kindergartner who stole cookies. 5 police sources have confirmed with Fox 13 that the person killed is Anthony G., also known as Big Juke. Now, Big Juke is the brother of rapper Yo Gotti. After Big Juke got murdered outside that restaurant in front of his own mother, Kenny dropped a track that had the streets talking. In front of his mama, they down his brother. "We come to get you like bounty hunt." Real talk, that's some real incriminating lyrics right there. He said we, not they, we. This man basically put himself at the scene of the crime through his own bars. The real tea that got everybody shook was how specific Kenny got with the details. Big Juke did get killed in front of his mother after attending a funeral. Kenny rapping about it like he was giving a play-by-play to the police. In the hood, we call that self-snitching, and it's the fastest way to catch a case. For those who know the culture, when you drop a diss track immediately after someone gets murdered and you're describing details that only the shooter would know, you might as well turn yourself in. Kenny was celebrating like he just won the lottery, talking about we, not they, and making it clear his crew was responsible. But here's the crazy part. Kenny later addressed the rumors on Facebook, saying, "I'ma let it be known, but I never thought I'd have to. Stop putting these BS allegations on a nit. I'm a pretty good guy, but I don't want no clout for nothing I don't have nothing to do with." Too little, too late, my guy. The damage was already done. Now let's talk about how this whole bloody mess started. The beef between Yo Gotti and Young Dolph wasn't just some rap rivalry. This was deep-rooted street politics that went back over a decade. It all started in 2010 with a Thanksgiving weekend shooting outside Level 2 nightclub. Yo Gotti and OG Boo Dirty, who was connected to Young Dolph's crew, got into it, and 6 people ended up shot. This wasn't no Twitter beef. This was real bullets flying in parking lots. The crazy part is one of the names arrested alongside Yo Gotti was Corey McClendon, the same Corey McClendon who would later be charged in Young Dolph's attempted murder in Hollywood in 2017. That shows you how deep this beef runs. These same soldiers been on the front lines for over 7 years, still trying to eliminate the opposition. But here's where it gets real spicy. Young Dolph was actually sitting right next to Gucci Mane in 2012 when Gucci publicly announced his beef with Yo Gotti. Gucci felt like Gotti was trying to ride his wave by dropping a mixtape on the same day as Gucci's official release. Young Dolph was right there witnessing the disrespect, and that alliance would prove deadly years later. The beef escalated over the years with multiple attempts on Young Dolph's life. In 2017, his car got shot up over 100 times in Charlotte. The feds connected that shooting back to Yo Gotti's camp, specifically Corey McClendon. This wasn't just rap beef anymore. This was a full-scale war. Young Dolph's murder and Big Juke's role. The real kicker, though, Young Dolph's murder in November 2021 wasn't just some random hit. The street's been talking, and word is Big Juke had put a serious bag on Dolph's head. We're talking about Yo Gotti's brother, the man who was the ear to the streets and the muscle behind the CMGM. Now, this ain't just about rap beef anymore. This is about power, territory, and respect in Memphis. Big Juke wasn't just Yo Gotti's brother. He was the enforcer, the one who handled the street business while Gotti handled the music business. When Young Dolph kept disrespecting the family name and threatening their empire, Big Juke made the call that would ultimately cost him his own life. For y'all who might not understand street politics, let me explain. When you put a bounty on someone's head, you're essentially signing your own death warrant if that person has loyal soldiers. Young Dolph had real ones in his corner, and they weren't about to let his murder go unanswered. The streets found out about Big Juke's involvement before the police did. Word travels fast in Memphis, and when you're responsible for taking out a beloved figure like Young Dolph, retaliation is inevitable. Big Juke knew this, but his pride and loyalty to his brother made him make a decision that would seal his fate. During the trial of Young Dolph's alleged killers, it came out that Big Juke was the one making phone calls and coordinating movements on the day of the murder. He was basically the mastermind behind the whole operation, which made him target number one for retaliation. January 13, 2024, that's the date Big Juke's chickens came home to roost. He was leaving Pyron's restaurant and event center on Winchester near Kirby when the shooters caught him slipping. The man was in his own city, probably feeling comfortable when death came calling. A deadly shooting in Hickory Hill with connections to Memphis rapper Yo Gotti. But here's the most disrespectful part. They killed him in front of his own mother. In street code, that's the ultimate violation. You don't involve family, especially not mothers. But when you're dealing with revenge for Young Dolph's murder, all bets are off. The shooting happened around 4:15 p.m. Broad daylight, no masks, no hiding. This was a message killing. The shooters wanted everyone to know that Big Juke's protection couldn't save him from the consequences of his actions. 2 men were shot. Big Juke died at the scene, and another man was airlifted to Regional 1 in critical condition.
Right now we do have video that we're analyzing, but we don't have a clear suspect identified at this time. But we know that a weapon was used, a firearm was used in this incident. We do feel like the individual that was shot was possibly targeted by the suspect.
Memphis police confirmed they had video footage and believed Big Juke was specifically targeted. This wasn't no random robbery or mistaken identity. This was calculated, planned, and executed with precision, the kind of hit that sends a message to everyone watching. What made it even more cold-blooded was the timing. Big Juke had just left a repass, a celebration of life after a funeral. He went outside for a smoke break and never made it back inside. His mother was inside the venue when she heard the shots that took her son's life. The real tea that got everybody shook was how the streets knew about Big Juke's involvement in Young Dolph's murder before it became public knowledge. Word was already circulating that he had put the bag on Dolph's head, and that's what made him a target. In the hood, we know information travels faster than police investigations. The same networks that helped orchestrate Young Dolph's murder were the same ones that exposed Big Juke's role in it. Street justice doesn't wait for court proceedings or official charges.
B.O. Lil Kenny and his young mob crew had been waiting for the right moment to strike back. They knew Big Juke was the real power behind Yo Gotti's operation, and taking him out would be the ultimate revenge for their fallen leader. B.O. Lil Kenny basically described in detail what the hell happened with the freaking murder of Big Juke. I don't think that if you saw Big Juke's murder that some shit won't happen. The man was too powerful. Everybody who talks about Yo Gotti, they never talk about how integral freaking Big Juke was. He was the ear to the music, the ear to the streets. The crazy part is how Kenny's own lyrics basically confirmed what the streets already knew. When he rapped about coming to get someone like bounty hunters and doing it in front of his mama, he was giving details that only someone involved would know. Big Juke's legal troubles. But yo, this is where the story gets even crazier. If Big Juke was still alive today, he'd probably be sitting in a federal prison cell facing murder charges for young Dolph's death. During the trial of the alleged shooters, it came out that Big Juke had been questioned by police about his involvement. The man was living on borrowed time. Anyway, the feds had phone records showing Big Juke was in constant communication with the shooters on the day young Dolph got killed. If he hadn't been murdered himself, the prosecution would have eventually built a case strong enough to put him away for life. That's the crazy part about street life. Sometimes getting killed saves you from spending the rest of your life in prison. Big Juke's death might have actually been a mercy compared to what was waiting for him in the legal system. Now, let's talk about B.O. Lil Kenny's situation and his future. The man got arrested on what appears to be minor charges: evading arrest, reckless driving, possession. His bond was only $10,000, which he probably already posted. But here's the thing, this might just be the beginning. Kenny spent an extra 8 hours in interrogation, mainly because of all the rumors and allegations floating around the internet. He said the internet is a dangerous drug, and he's right. His own social media posts and music videos gave law enforcement all the ammunition they needed to connect him to Big Juke's murder. The feds like to start small and build big cases. They'll arrest you on something minor while they're building the murder case in the background. Kenny's self-snitching tracks gave them all the evidence they need to connect him to Big Juke's murder. At the end of the day, B.O. Lil Kenny's situation isn't just about revenge or street justice. It's about the consequences of living a life where violence is the answer to every problem. Young Dolph got killed, so Big Juke had to die. Big Juke died, so now Kenny's facing the consequences. This cycle of violence in Memphis has claimed too many lives and destroyed too many families. Yo Gotti lost his brother, young Dolph's family lost their patriarch, and now Kenny's family might lose him to the prison system. The real question is, when does it end? How many more bodies have to drop before these crews realize that this path only leads to death or prison? Kenny might think he got away with it, but the streets are watching, and so are the feds. What are your thoughts on B.O. Lil Kenny's situation? Do you think he'll beat these charges, or is this just the beginning of a bigger case? Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more breaking news from the Memphis rap scene.
The city outside buzzed with whispers, but inside the royal family remained steadfast, clinging to faith and unity. No press conference, no interviews, no clarifications, only presence, love, and unwavering support. In that silence, the nation saw something rare, something powerful, a royal family united, not by duty or tradition, but by the simple, unspoken force of standing together when the world is watching. The future of the crown glimmered in that quiet strength. As the days passed and the world waited for answers, one truth became clear. This moment would leave a lasting mark on the British monarchy. Behind closed doors, Prince William was quietly stepping into a new phase of responsibility. The crisis that had shaken the royal family had not only revealed their humanity, but also tested the very foundation of their strength. The question lingered in the air. How would this reshape the future of the crown royal? Historians often say every generation of monarchs faces a defining moment, a storm that reshapes their purpose. For the Queen, it was the tragic loss of Diana and the test of public trust. For King Charles, it was the challenge of modernizing tradition while preserving dignity. And for Prince William, this was that moment, the collision of family grief and royal duty. Could he carry both with grace? Could he protect his family's privacy while maintaining the faith of a watching nation? Those who saw him in the days that followed spoke of a man transformed. The easy smile and relaxed posture had given way to a new gravity, a quiet determination echoing his father's steadiness and his mother's compassion. Advisors described him as deeply reflective, spending long hours discussing the monarchy's direction, the role of transparency, and how the royal family must evolve in an age when silence no longer shields them from public scrutiny. Catherine, always the pillar beside him, played her part with graceful precision. Her composure during public appearances reminded the world of the quiet strength that defines true royalty. Together, they stood not just as a couple, but as symbols of a monarchy learning to bend, endure, and grow through pain. Yet the question remained, would this private heartbreak strengthen their bond with the public or create distance between the crown and the people it serves? The palace, aware of growing curiosity, finally released a brief statement. It thanked the public for their compassion and understanding and confirmed that the prince and his family were focusing on recovery and reflection. Though no details were given, the tone was gentle, almost humble. It was a reminder that even power has its limits, and even kings and queens must bow to life's uncertainties. In the weeks that followed, something remarkable began to happen. The public, instead of demanding answers, began to rally behind the royal family. Newspapers that once criticized now offered words of empathy. The story shifted from scandal to strength, from suspicion to solidarity. The nation was witnessing not the downfall of a monarchy, but the rebirth of its humanity. And so, as the lights of Buckingham Palace glowed softly against the London night, the future of the crown seemed both fragile and strong, a paradox held together by faith, family, and love. In that silence, in that pain, Prince William had found his defining moment. The burden of the crown had never been heavier, but neither had its purpose ever been clearer. In the end, what began as a sudden cancellation became a moment that revealed the heart behind the crown. Prince William's quiet withdrawal from the spotlight reminded the world that even kings in waiting bleed, fear, and grieve. Through silence and sorrow, the royal family showed that strength is not found in ceremony, but in compassion and unity. The public, once curious, turned to empathy. They stood not before royalty, but before a family enduring loss. As time passes, the mystery of those days may fade, but the image of a son carrying both a crown and a cross will remain. Perhaps this is what true leadership looks like, not perfection, but humanity under pressure. The storm has passed, but its lessons will echo through the halls of history. And for the future king, it was a reminder that the greatest battles are often fought in silence. What are your thoughts about this? Share your thoughts in the comments for more royal stories. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. See you